Greetings to you all, and of course, a Happy New Year. More importantly, a more peaceful New Year and a healthy New Year, because that does contribute to happiness. Let us hope it is a more peaceful New Year than last year. I, of course, have been, extremely busy, and I've reached an age now where, with one exception, which we'll come to later, I obviously don't play large major roles because my age would make that very difficult, and I haven't made any very long journeys. As to films, I did a picture called The Heavy, and then I did a picture called Glorious 39, very good film. First time I ever met Julie Christie. And sadly, of course, my brother in the film was played by Corin Redgrave, who has since left us. And then there was another movie I made, which I personally hadn't seen, called Boogie Woogie. A lot of people might make the mistake of thinking this is all about pop music or something of that sort. It isn't. Boogie Woogie is the name of a painting by the famous Swiss painter Piet Mondrian, and I think he did 3 of them. My character in the film possesses one of Mondrian's paintings. Not Boogie Woogie, I don't think, but it is one of his paintings. And although my wife, the wonderful Joanna Lumley, and I are living almost in poverty, I have refused to accept as much as, I think, I can't remember the figure now, but it was many, many, many millions of dollars. And I keep on saying no, 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 no. So that's 3 films. Then I had the opportunity of working it again with one of my very dearest friends and one of the great directors, Tim Burton, in his animated, well, partly animated film of Alice in Wonderland. And I merely played the voice of the Jabberwock, which comes right at the very end. And the film itself has been an enormous hit all over the world. So that is Alice in Wonderland. And then there were 2 others. One which I did in Budapest with Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman, called The Season of the Witch. And in this I play a cardinal who is dying of the Great Plague that swept Europe in, I think, 1347. And then I did one day in a very amusing film directed by an old friend, John Landis, called Burke and Hare. And I play a man who is dying in bed. and they come to collect the body. But to their amazement and dismay, I refuse to die. And every time they think I've taken my last breath, I start talking again, which really scares them. They don't know what to do. Among other things, I reminisce about the Battle of Waterloo, and I talk about the Duke of Wellington, who was known throughout the army as Old Nosy because he had a very sharp, protruding nose. And I talk about him, and I actually quote what he is really supposed to have said at the Battle of Waterloo. There are many things he said before and many things he said afterwards. But in this, he doesn't say, stand up, guards, or up and at 'em, guards, up and at 'em. He says, stand up, guards. Now, Maitland, now's your time. I played with a very broad Scots accent. Now, Maitland, now's your time. And I go on talking, and they don't know how to get rid of me. Well, ultimately, they do, but it's a very funny scene. Then I went, I don't think I got all these in the right order, but I went to New Mexico, to Albuquerque, which is a huge studio and very much used because it's basically desert, to do a film called The Resident with Hilary Swank and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Here we have a big star, delightful lady, and an outstanding actress. So, of course, it was a pleasure to work with her and with him. I also played a character in an animated film, extremely funny, called Monster Mania. I think it was made by a German company. Don't expect to see me playing any of these traditional characters that I have played in the past, because I don't. I'm not going to tell you whom I play or what the character does, because I don't know when that's going to come out. But I do think it'll be very successful and very funny. And then I was in a film which goes back a bit more in time, which for me is an extremely important film. It was directed by Denis Stanovic from Sarajevo, who had already got an Oscar for No Man's Land. And basically the two male leads are Colin Farrell, who was a joy to work with, and myself. Now, again, I've only seen a bit of this film, and I hope that people will understand what it's about, because it's very true to life. And I play a Spanish psychiatrist, speaking a bit of Spanish to my granddaughter, Paz Vega, fine Spanish actress, and of course, English. I don't know what's happened to that film. I have no idea. I don't think it went into theatres. It's all very strange. But it's one of the best films I've been in for years. And if I may say so, it's one of the best performances I've given and one of the best parts I've ever had in a very, very long time. It is a major role.